moment, I can see it. Streaming the truth live from where they decree it. Sylvia speaks, no filter, no buffer. Courtroom drama couldn't get any tougher.
When the gavel's first bang, to the witness turns tears. Sylvia's lens captures all your hopes and fears. Uploading justice one trial at a time. Tune in every moment, edges sublime.
Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Faces tell stories, the courtroom can't hide. Sylvia's insights cut through the divide. From jury talks to the lawyer's secret. In Sylvia's world, you know you'll need it. Behind the scenes where whispers are loud, her lens reveals the truth in the crowd. Courtroom secrets laid bare to see. Stay curious with Sylvia Spree. Every objection, every sharp retort, Sylvia's there to give you the report. Exclusive footage no one else can snag. From catchy headlines straight to the tag. Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show.
Faces tell.
Hey guys, we have a new case to cover. We got a new case. It's on trial right now in Cobb County. Guys, you already know I've been back and forth in Cobb County. Cobb County has a lot of stuff for us, okay? So let's go ahead on and start off with this a little bit 411 on the case, okay? Hold on a second. Let me just go ahead and pull this up in here. Hold on, share the screen. All right, we're gonna. Oh, they already. This is the courtroom in Cobb County right now, y'all. This is the courtroom in Cobb County. Okay, here we go. Look, the judge is not even here, and they already filming. Y'all see that? If that was Fulton County, you'd have a fit by now. Y'all see that already? Sanja N. Brown is the judge. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, good people. Good morning to you. We are here. We are here together. Back together again. Back together again. Let me see if I can show you a short clip of what this guy did. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can show you that. Hold on, I'm going to share this with you guys for a second. Let's see. Let's do this one here. Hold on a second. I'm going to do this one here.
Now at 6, the trial for a Cobb County man accused of killing a young married couple started today.
Those murders happened 4 years ago. Atlanta News First Chelsea Bimeford is at the Cobb County Superior Courthouse tonight, where prosecutors presented some heartbreaking evidence to the judge.
During opening statements, prosecutors told the judge that the couple's toddler didn't understand his parents were dead and he tried to play with them. He was later found by police covered in their blood. This is a photo of Justin and Amber Hicks with their 2-year-old son, Jacob. It was taken in 2021, not long before they were found executed inside their Ackworth home on Verbena Drive.
On November the 18th, 2021, a family's worst nightmare came true.
Authorities say Matthew Lanz, who lived right behind Amber and Justin, allegedly broke into their home by shattering a window, then shot and killed them while Jacob was sleeping upstairs. Body camera footage played in court Monday showed the moments a Cobb County police officer entered Justin and Amber's home and found their bodies. That video is too graphic to air on television, but you can hear when that officer tells family members they're dead.
They're both gone. No. Where's the baby? He's running around.
Prosecutors say evidence in this trial will show that Lanz's DNA was found on the gun used in the couple's shooting deaths, and he was caught on camera near their home the night of the murders. His attorney told the judge these are all allegations, and his client believes he's being set up.
Matthew believes that he has been set up by either FBI, CIA, or some government agency. I think you'll hear some information about that through the statements. Or have the ability to listen to those and evaluate those.
Lanz is facing malice and felony murder charges. He's also accused of stabbing a Sandy Springs police officer during another home invasion just days after the Hicks were killed. Reporting from the Cobb County Superior Courthouse, Chelsea Bimeford, Atlanta News First.
That's my. That's my girl, Chelsea, y'all. That's Chelsea. I was with Chelsea last week when I was doing the interview with Cecil's situation. I was with Chelsea. Yep, I was with Chelsea. So we're going to get started with the case. Hold on a second. It's starting in 9 more minutes. We're waiting for them to begin, y'all. We're waiting for them to begin. Thank you, Anne, for giving the rundown. Yes, it's about and then he turned around and stabbed, a couple of days later, he turned around and stabbed a police officer in another home invasion. Stabbed the police officer in the neck. Mm-hmm. We're waiting for them to begin, guys. It hasn't started yet. We're still waiting. We're waiting. Good. Okay, y'all, let's see. All right, let's see. We're waiting for them to start. It should start in 1 more minute, y'all. 1 more minute. Good morning, Denver. Good morning. Good morning, everybody that's coming in.
Hearing court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Sonia M. Brown is presiding.
Good morning, everyone. Please have a seat for me. Good morning.
This is day 2 of this trial, y'all. Day 2. I missed yesterday.
As we are waiting, again, I just want to remind everyone that phones should be turned off unless you are with the media and have been granted permission by the court. There should be no audio or video recordings, nor should there be any photographs taken. For those who are on Zoom, unless you are media, same rules apply. The Zoom is a courtesy, and so all of the court rules apply. There should be no audio or video recordings, nor should there be any pictures taken during the course of these proceedings. Again, if anybody needs to take a phone call, text, or send emails, just ask that you please step out and then you can come back in. Also, again, and I do recognize that this is a very emotional time for many of the people that are here today. And so emotions are human. And so if you feel overcome with emotion or feel that you can't contain yourself, just ask that you step outside and come back in. We're happy to have you come back in. But again, just being mindful that there is court going on in other courtrooms on the floor. So just want to be respectful of those proceedings as well. I want to make sure that everybody who is before the court in whatever courtroom and whatever proceeding has an opportunity to be heard and to not have any interference with that. Great, I think we're good. All right, good morning, everyone. I am Judge Sonia Brown. I am the presiding judge for this criminal trial, the state of Georgia versus Matthew Lanz, case number 2200922. We are present here in the open courtroom, present in the court, the clerk, the court reporter. Mr. Lanz is represented by Attorney Berry. The state is represented by Assistant District Attorneys Green and Horowitz. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. And then we're going to continue with the state's presentation of evidence. Is there anything that we need to put on the record, any procedural that we need to discuss, or any matters that need to be taken up with the court before we proceed?
We got some time this morning to go through some of the exhibits, so we can move on.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's right, nothing to say. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. State, you may call your next witness.
State calls Sergeant Steven Sinatra.
Raise your right hand, please. You do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give the court on the issue now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You have a seat for me, and once seated, if you would please state and spell your true and correct legal name for the record.
Yes, ma'am. Stephen, Stephensinatra.
Great, thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. How are you employed?
I'm employed with Cobb County Police.
What is your role?
Right now, I'm a sergeant with the patrol division.
Oh. Prior to today or now, what were you doing back in 2021?
I was working with the Crimes Against Persons Unit in the Major Crimes Bureau.
I do want to remind those who are on Zoom that you need to remain muted unless you are specifically directed to speak by the court or asked by one of the attorneys. Again, please mute your devices. We're getting feedback into the courtroom, and if we continue to get feedback, again, Zoom is a courtesy. We will have to turn the Zoom off, and the court does not want to do that because I know there are people who want to observe, but we cannot have any interference from those who are on Zoom during these proceedings. I apologize, AD agree, we may continue.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Were you a detective with the Major Crimes Division?
I was.
And were you involved in this investigation involving the murders of Timothy and Amber Hicks?
Yes.
Did you respond to the scene on November 18th of 2021?
Yes.
And was your supervising sergeant at that time, Sergeant Mark Gasky?
Yes.
All right. During the course of your time on scene, did you assist with the collection of 3 shell casings?
I did.
Okay. Why is it that you were specifically assisting with the collection of those 3 casings?
At the time that I was a detective, I was also the task force officer with ATF, and we were going to send those casings away to retrieve DNA. And so I collected them in a manner that was consistent with collection procedures to be able to obtain DNA.
Okay. Was that somewhat different than the normal collection procedures when you're sending something off to GBI?
Yes.
All right. Why specifically were y'all using ATF's crime lab in this case?
They were a resource afforded to us because of the TFO position that I held at the time. And the lab was more thorough than our normal GBI testing.
Were they also able to expedite this in a substantial way?
Yes.
And is that because at the time this was, we did not have a known perpetrator back on November 18th of 2021?
Correct.
Right. Prior to testifying this morning, did you have the opportunity to open State's Exhibits 602, 603, and 604 that were tendered yesterday?
I did.
Okay, and did you open those in the presence of defense counsel, Mr. Jimmy Berry?
Yes.
Within those packages of State's Exhibits 602, 603, and 604, were there smaller manila envelopes?
Yes.
All right, and did you recognize both the smaller envelopes as well as the larger envelopes?
Yes.
Are those in fact the casings that you specifically collected and packaged for the ATF on November 18th of 2021?
Yes.
And I know you said that there was a specific manner to collect them when you knew you wanted to test them for DNA. What is that manner or method?
The manner is opening a sterile swab, basically turning it around and using the wooden end to pick up the shell casing, and then placing it inside a smaller envelope and sealing it immediately.
Very good. And is that what you did in this case?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to show you first State 602 on the screen here. Is this both the larger package and smaller package that you assisted packaging for ATF?
Yes.
All right, and if I zoom in here down at the bottom, what type of casing was this?
9mm caliber, and the manufacturer's SIG, SIG.
Now looking at State 603 here, both the larger package and then also zooming into the smaller package here. What type of casing was in 603?
9mm caliber and same manufacturer as SIG.
And here where we have the name Howell, who was Howell?
That's Jennifer Howell, the crime scene technician at the time.
Was she working under the direction of Sergeant Mark Gasky?
Yes.
Finally looking at 604 here, and then zooming into the smaller manila envelope. What type of casing was the third casing collected from 5059 Verbena?
Caliber 9mm manufacturer SIG.
And then finally, during the course of gathering these items for potential DNA evidence, did you send your own buccal swabs in?
I did.
Okay, and what was the purpose of that?
That is for elimination purposes, because during collection, sometimes there's inadvertent transfer of DNA, so that way the lab is able to distinguish DNA.
Now, when you use a sterile swab, are you also using gloves?
Correct.
Okay, so do you take measures to prevent your DNA from actually transferring onto items of evidence?
Yes.
Out of an abundance of caution, do you then also send your own buckles in the event that somehow your DNA did inadvertently end up on these casings?
Yes.
Right, was that all collected and sent to ATF as well?
Yes.
Give me just a moment. That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Rivera, you may proceed.
Thank you. Good morning, Sergeant.
Morning, sir.
A couple of questions. Was there anything gleaned from the DNA, any DNA off the cartridges?
I just collected the casing, sir. I'm not sure. I was the main case agent.
Okay, so you just did the collection, but you don't know whether anything was ultimately found?
Yes, sir. I just did the collection.
Okay. Were there any other items that you collected when you were on the scene back on November the 18th?
No, sir. The only things that I had my hands on specifically was the shell casings, which I collected in this particular manner, and then everything else was done by the crime scene technician, to my knowledge.
Okay. And crime scene unit didn't give you anything to have tested any other lab or anything of that nature?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Are there any other questions to this witness?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
May this witness be excused.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have a great day, sir.
I know.
You have an interview with the sergeant, so that Mark can gas to you. And the one that I brought. Okay. Here it is. Okay.
Thank you. All right, State, you may call your next
The
witness.
state calls Detective Ronson Smith.
Someone in your office about to get him.
Step into the restroom. I don't think you realize how short the first witness
No.
was.
You raise your right hand, please. You do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give the court on the issue now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Can you please have a seat for me? And once seated, if you would please state and spell your true and correct legal name of the record.
It's Ronson Smith, and it's spelled R-O-N-S-O-N, and the last name is Smith, common spelling S-M-I-T-H.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective, how are you employed?
Currently employed with the Cobb County Police Department as a reserve police officer.
What does it mean to be a reserve police officer?
I have retired in 2017 and returned in 2019 to a position that I had occupied prior to my retirement.
So do you still do detective work?
I do.
All right, and what unit are you assigned to?
Overall, the umbrella of the major crimes unit, more specifically to the technology-based crimes unit.
Wonderful. And the technology-based crimes unit, I know you said you were in that position before retirement and returned to it. So how many years total have you worked? Okay.
Uh-oh. Somebody gonna get in trouble. Their phone ring.
That's okay. I can re-ask the question. All right. So you said that you were previously in a division prior to retirement and then returned to that same division. How many years total have you been with the technology-based crimes unit?
Since 2009. So.
15, 16 years, something like that. And what are your primary job responsibilities with the technology-based crimes unit?
Primarily, I'm in there for forensic video analysis and acquisition, and up until recently, I was doing mobile device forensics and some light computer forensics.
Okay, very good. I want to focus with this case on the forensic video acquisition and analysis. What does that mean?
It's a scientific approach and methodology to making evaluation of recording systems and the footage that's recovered from surveillance systems, comparisons in some cases, and examining those systems to make sure they're operating correctly.
Did you start your focus in this area of forensic video acquisition and analysis prior to joining the technology-based crimes unit in 2009?
Yes, from 1998 until 2009, I was a member of the major case unit robbery homicide. And this forensic video analysis and acquisition came as a result of my casework in there. In 2002, I introduced to the Cobb County Police Department an idea that we could do better with surveillance video that we were receiving. And at that time, I promoted the idea of purchasing a non-linear video editing suite of tools and hardware. Non-linear video editing suite of tools. We did make that purchase, and I was trained with that vendor that we made the purchase from, and then began an introduction into the training and the utilization of those tools. That was in the video cassette days, when surveillance video was not digital, and then have progressed into current day technology with digital surveillance.
You've referenced some training that you've had. Approximately how many hours of training have you received in the field of forensic video acquisition and analysis over the years?
I would say over 200 hours. Much of it early on I didn't necessarily keep up with, but there were some of that is vendor training, and some of it is technical training through organizations such as the Law Enforcement and Emergency Services Video Association. Acronym for that is LEVA. They're one of the primary areas for receiving training. Attended a couple of their conferences, 2002 and 2003. These are week-long conferences usually with workshops in the evenings or on the weekend before the actual conferences start. So it's a number of hands-on type training situations, plus reading the vendors' work and the scientific working group on imaging. Is also a good resource for learning these skills.
Excellent. You've also referenced that you promoted this suite of tools for Cobb County Police Department to use. Is there a specialized tool that's more prominent today that you use when conducting forensic video acquisition and analysis?
Yes. Currently, there's a Axon. The company Axon has purchased what was a tool that we had bought at Cobb County called Input Ace, and now Axon has purchased that company. It's now called Investigate Pro, and it's a suite of software that we still use for digital surveillance video analysis.
And is that suite of tools from Investigate Pro approved by industry standards such as LEVA?
It does meet industry standards.
Now, the steps in acquiring video and analyzing video and the results that you achieve thereof, are those able to be repeated by somebody who has your same training and skill?
Yes, it's one of the goals when I approach a case is that any work product as a result of my analysis, that work product could be repeated by someone with my same skill set, the same software or hardware.
How many hours of your time currently is spent with forensic video acquisition and analysis?
Pretty much 100% of my time. I don't work full time. It is a part-time job, but basically 29 hours a week.
And have you spent roughly 29 or more hours a week on this focus since about 2009?
Well, from 2009 until my retirement, it was split between mobile device forensics and forensic video analysis, but and that was full time. Since I've been back, so only when my time is more limited.
Sure. How many cases have you handled that have involved forensic video acquisition analysis, approximately?
Well, into the hundreds. I've calculated at one point some years ago about 125 cases a year when I was full time. I don't necessarily log each one, but as a primary function, it's hundreds.
How many hours of video have you acquired and analyzed over the course of your career?
Well, each one of those cases, and in many circumstances, the casework may involve a single system, but that's fairly unusual. It usually leads to the need for pulling video from other sources. In so many cases, may contain 5, 10, 20 locations where you've pulled video from, whether it's pertinent or not to the case, but it's thousands of hours.
Have you ever been tendered as an expert in video acquisition and analysis?
I have.
Okay. How many times?
Dozens.
And does that include here in Cobb County?
It does, primarily for Cobb County.
Judge, we had no problem tendering him as an expert.
Wonderful. We'll go ahead and tender him as an expert in forensic video acquisition and analysis.
Right, and so Detective Smith will be treated as an expert in the forensic video analysis and acquisition.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, as part of were you involved in this investigation of the murders of Justin and Amber Hicks?
I was.
What was your primary function in this investigation?
It is normally the case where I will learn of these types of incidents normally the day after, and I'll be briefed on circumstances or needs where they believe that I may be able to fulfill a role. In this case, it was the role of determining if there were surveillance video that could play a role in determining potentially access and egress from the location of the crime, and for any vehicles or persons that might be seen in the area.
In this particular case, did you, along with other detectives, conduct a canvass of the residential neighborhood?
A canvass was conducted, yes, and I did participate in that.
And as a result, were surveillance videos or surveillance video footage recovered from a number of residences?
Yes, video was recovered from several locations.
Your Honor, at this time, per the stipulation, the state is going to tender State's Exhibit 462. In stipulation number 5, it reads that State's Exhibit 462 is a true and accurate copy of the surveillance video footage recovered from 581 Delphinium Boulevard, Ackworth, Georgia 30102. The state is also going to move to tender State's 463, per stipulation number 6. It reads, State's Exhibit 463 is a true and accurate copy of the surveillance video footage recovered from 5064 Verbena Drive, Ackworth, Georgia 30102. The state is also moving to tender State's Exhibit 464 per stipulation 7. State's Exhibit 464 is a true and accurate copy of the surveillance video footage recovered from 5050 Verbena Drive, Ackworth, Georgia 30102. So we're moving on States 462, 463, and 464.
Defense?
That's correct, Judge. We've got an opportunity to use those, and that's per stipulation.
Great, thank you. State's Exhibits 462, 463, and 464 as stipulated in paragraphs 5, 6, and 7 are omitted.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Now, Detective, did you recognize the addresses I just named?
I did.
All right, and have you personally gone through and analyzed the surveillance footage recovered from those 3 locations?
I have, yes.
In doing so, did you create smaller clips of pertinent timeframes?
Yes, I did.
All right, and prior to testifying, did you have the opportunity to look at State's Exhibit 465 called Concatenated Surveillance Video?
Yes, I did.
And did you recognize all of these smaller clips contained within that folder on the state's master drive?
Yes.
Are all of those video clips, did all of those originate from State's Exhibit 462, 463, and 464, the complete surveillance videos from those 3 addresses?
Yes.
At this time, State moves to tender State's 465 into evidence. And for the record, within State's 465, they are labeled A through O.
Okay. State's Exhibit 465 as labeled A through O are omitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Next, Detective, I'd like to show you State's Exhibit 475 through 478. I know you looked at these prior to testifying, but they were not numbered at the time, so I'll give you another opportunity.
Yes, I recognize them as the same images I looked at earlier.
Okay, and these images, are these maps?
Yes.
And do these maps include the addresses where surveillance video was acquired?
Yes, thank you.
And then are those fair and accurate maps showing this general neighborhood and area in addition to the addresses in which you acquired video?
Yes.
State moves to tender States 475 through 478.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor, we view those.
Thank you. States 475 to 478 are omitted.
May I publish these, Your Honor?
Yes.
All right, so we are going to start with State's Exhibit 475 here. You have your little TV in front of you as well, Detective. So in States 475, what are the 2 addresses that are identified on this map?
5059 Verbena Drive and 600 Delphinium Boulevard.
And the 5059 Verbena address, whose residence was that?
The ex-residents at the time.
And then the 600 Delphinium, what was the significance of that address?
The Lanz residence.
And despite the Lanz residence having a Delphinium Boulevard address, what street did their driveway come off of?
On Verbena Drive.
And then the Hicks's residence, where is their driveway located?
On Verbena.
And so is that where I'm indicating the 2 driveways on Verbena?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, since we are going to see some footage kind of further up the street, I want to look at states 476 here. Are you, I know it's not pinned, but do you also still see 5059 Verbena and 600 Delphinium?
Yes.
If you travel north up Verbena, were there any other addresses of interest where we will be seeing surveillance video?
I believe 5064 Verbena Drive is visible in that, just out of the curve.
Right here.
I believe so.
Okay. And so it's on the opposite side of the street as our two primary residences.
It is.
Okay. And then kind of to really get our bearings here, looking at states 477 here, what is the major roadway that these neighborhoods are, or this neighborhood is off of?
Bells Ferry Road.
Now from Bells Ferry Road, can you take Larkspur to get onto Verbena and make it down to the two addresses of interest?
Yes, you could.
And then is there also a way to access these addresses from Delphinium Boulevard?
Yes, Delphinium runs directly off of Bells Ferry.
And are those the two primary entry and exit points for Bells Ferry from this neighborhood? And then finally, jumping ahead a little, we will be looking at video from 581 Delphinium. Where is 581 Delphinium?
581 in this image is at the corner of Dahlia Way and Delphinium Boulevard.
Okay.
And in this image on the upper or the northern side of the roadway.
Okay, and so is this where I'm pointing right here?
Yes, that is 5.
Okay, and so kind of similarly, despite that it has a Delphinium address, where does its actual driveway hit?
On Dahlia Way.
And going back just briefly to states 477 here. Let's see where. Oh, here we go, okay. Although it's not marked, is this tiny little cul-de-sac?
Yes, that's Dahlia Way on the north side of the roadway.
Okay, and so if you cross Dahlia Way, can you make it back out onto Bells Ferry?
Yes.
Now that we have our bearings a little bit here, oh, and you know, I should go back briefly. We look at State's Exhibit 475. What residence is directly across from the Hicks's residence?
5050 Verbena Drive has a driveway that is directly across the street from the 5059 Verbena driveway.
Is that one of the videos or one of the homes that you also obtained footage that we will be looking at?
Yes.
So now I want to move forward to the surveillance clips. Your Honor, do I have permission to start publishing these clips?
Yes, you may proceed.
These settings. So looking here, starting at the very beginning, was there footage that you were able to review and analyze showing that Hicks actually arrived home on November 17th of 2021?
Yes, my initial video analysis was conducted on the video from 50/50 verbatim.
50/50, thank you.
And that footage, having been obtained, was on a drive. And it appeared to be a camera that stored the footage on an SD card. And from that SD card, the files were visible. And so I began reviewing, and 1906, I believe, was approximately the time when there was a vehicle, truck, that arrived at the Hicks address.
And how many individuals came out of that truck that arrived there at 1906?
There were 3 individuals, 2 adults, and a child.
And when we're saying 1906, is that 7:06 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So we will begin by publishing states 465A.
Interesting.
That was the entirety of A. I should ask you, Detective, the timestamp that we can see in the bottom right quadrant of this video, was that an accurate timestamp?
I believe so, yes.
And Your Honor, while it's probably less pertinent for this video, it certainly would be helpful in the other videos if we turn down the lights a little, because the lighting can be difficult. Really, just the ones near the TVs would be great.
Keep going.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Next, we will publish states 465B, which is a continuation.
They're going in the house. Did y'all see that?
State's now publishing 465C.
Good night. Look like the man's driving, right? That was the passenger side. Can't really tell which side it is because of lights. No, the lights went off. They're trying to get stuff out the house. I mean, out the car. I see the baby. I see the little one.
And states 465D. Stop states 465D at 45 seconds. The timestamp on the video being 19:019:47. I'll go back once more. Start states 465D zoomed in on the Hicks's vehicle. And I'll stop that at 32 seconds. The timestamp on the video being 19:019:34. Detective, was this, did you have any other footage of Justin, Amber, or Jacob alive through your analysis?
No, nothing that would actually, you could physically see them and it appeared to be them.
Nothing that showed their person?
Correct.
From there, what was the next time that you saw relevant video surveillance? What time frame?
The most relevant for the investigation was 21 or 9:21 p.m.
And before we get there,
I apologize. At the residence or any?
Anywhere.
Okay, so 9:20. Yes, in the 9:20 hour.
And in military time, is that 9:21?
21:20. Yes.
Very good. Before we get there, let me show you one other image. States 480 here. Do you recognize States 480?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and how is it that you recognize States 480?
This is a printout of a digital image that I produced for the purposes, and I felt it was important to have a daylight view of the camera view that we were able to obtain from the residents across the street from the Hicks residence, only because it kind of emphasizes the point, we don't get to choose the camera placements. We don't get to choose what equipment is used, and we don't get to choose how someone chooses to cover their property with cameras. And in this case, it's unfortunate that this camera was behind, on the interior of a home, behind double pane glass and a screen, shooting out, covering their driveway. And for their purposes, for those residents' purposes, that was probably what they wanted in order to cover their property, maybe vehicles that they leave in their driveway. But it did create difficulties, and so I created this image to show a daylight view of the challenges of this video.
So this time state moves to tender States 480 into evidence.
Any objection? States 480 is admitted.
Sorry, We can switch over if we can. Thank you. So just so that we see before getting too much further here, States 480, is that the video footage or the camera angle that we just observed in States 465A through D?
It is, and this obviously is a daytime view with probably the best lighting, early morning light, depicting the actual, another indication was to show some of these, what was in the background, some of the landscape, some of the shrubbery, some of the trees, because in the nighttime images, they are very, very difficult to depict or to pick out of the images.
And so this kind of speckling or pattern that we see overlaid on this image, is that from the screen that you described?
It is from an actual screen mounted on the outside of a double pane window, and this camera is actually somewhat kind of pressed up against the interior glass. What this doesn't depict is that at night, when there's ambient light from inside the house, actually on the extreme outsides of this image at night, there are additional challenges because of ambient light from inside the home, reflecting back against the glass captured by the recording.
And were we able to kind of see some of that in the footage that we observed A through D?
We will, yes, we were and we will be
And we'll
seeing
continue to,
that,
yes. Now, was that as detrimental to A through D showing the Hicks ride home?
It was not because of the abundance of light produced by the headlights, produced the fact that it's a large vehicle arriving, that lights were automatically turned on. The garage door ambient light is coming out into the driveway, so that creates a much clearer ability to see.
Will we see more difficulty as we go through the other footage?
We will.
All right, now kind of going back briefly to your expertise in this area, given the thousands of hours that you've observed surveillance footage systems, do you have a keen eye for things such as movement or objects or persons?
Yes.
And to be clear for the court, in terms of any persons seen on any of the following surveillance clips that we're going to show, are you able to definitively make any form of person identification?
No.
Are you able to see human beings?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so if we can switch back over to the computer here. We will continue with States Exhibit 465E. Now before, let's see, I'm going to pause it first at 00 on the video. The timestamp of the video is 21:20 and 20 seconds. Now that timestamp that we see in the upper left corner of the video footage, was that an accurate timestamp?
Yes, it was.
And this view that we see here, I'm not going to switch back to the map right this moment, but where was this home located?
5064 Verbena Drive.
Was that the residence that if you traveled north on Verbena, you would see it on the
opposite
right
side of the roadway from the Hicks and Lanz residence? Yes.
All right, very good. And so on this image where I paused it, we can see a roadway just past this this residence's driveway. Which roadway is that?
That is Verbena Drive.
And if you see a vehicle moving on the screen from right to left, what direction would it be headed towards?
Towards the intersection of Verbena, on Verbena, towards Delphine, which is a four-way stop.
All right, very good. And I think this video is about 1 minute and 47 seconds here. What is the purpose of this clip in States Exhibit 465E?
I just wanted to check yes. I was checking the name of the clip to make sure. But yes, this is a combined clip from both this camera initially here at 5064 Verbena and then at 5050 Verbena, showing the continuation not only of the first vehicle we will see, which was the Lanz vehicle. And the two following SUVs, which I believe continued on, and the reason for showing 50-50 in combination with this was that the two SUVs continue on Verbena Drive.
Okay, so ultimately, how many vehicles are going to drive past the camera at 5064 Verbena?
3.
Right, and then how many vehicles do you see past the camera at 5050 Verbena?
2.
What is the only intersection between 5064 Verbena and 5059 Verbena that hits his residence?
Delphinium Boulevard.
And so would the first vehicle that you see on past 5064 Verbena have to turn into either a residence or onto Delphinium to miss the 5050 camera?
Yes.
All right, so if we can now go ahead and publish State's Exhibit 465E. I'm going to pause the video with a timestamp of 21:20 and 29 seconds. We will talk about headlights and everything in just a moment, but first, to play this through, is this the first vehicle that you indicated, the first out of the 3?
Yes, this is a dark sedan, yes.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute, but just play it through. Pausing it with the timestamp of the video being 21, 20, and 40 seconds. Is that the first SUV that follows the suspect vehicle?
It is.
Pause it again here with the timestamp of the video being 21, 20, and 52 seconds. Is this the second SUV following the suspect vehicle?
It is.
Now pausing the the video at 21, 20, and 50 seconds. What camera have you now switched to in this combined video?
The camera located inside the upstairs window of the residence at 5050 Verbena, looking out over the driveway and the street.
And so looking directly across the truck there, what driveway is that?
That is the Hicks residence.
And then you can see at least a little bit of light here in this kind of area. What residence or street number is in that location?
Well, that is in the direction of the Lanz residence. It's 6. Okay, with the address that's off of Delphinium, however, the driveway is located on Verbena.
So, don't necessarily know the property line, but is that the next property you get to? The 600 Delphinium from 5059?
It is.
So we'll continue to play this. We'll then circle back to it in a few minutes. Pausing the video at 21, 21, and 11 seconds. Is this one of the SUVs previously seen passing 5064 Verbena?
Yes, I believe so.
Now pausing the video at 21, 21, and 26 seconds. Is that the second SUV that passed the 5064 Verbena address?
Yes.
and that is the entirety of States 465E. Now, I know I've referenced the first vehicle. We've referenced it both as the Lanz vehicle as well as the suspect vehicle. Did you have an opportunity to look into the headlights and taillights of Mr. Lanz's vehicle?
Yes.
Was that vehicle brought to Cobb County Police crime shed?
It was at some point, and I simply requested that we make some photographs, hopefully from both ground level and elevated positions, simulating the height of the cameras on these residences.
So backing up just a little bit, at the time that you were able to do this, did police have custody of a vehicle known to belong to Mr. Matthew Lanz?
Yes.
And what type of vehicle was that?
I do not recall the make and model.
That's okay. Was it SUV, sedan, truck?
It was a sedan.
And did you, when you went back while this vehicle was in police custody to take photographs, talk to the court a little bit more about your purpose in photographing the vehicle in terms of lighting, height, and so forth.
In the past, during some of the training that I've received, there had been the usage of, or the detailing of headlight signatures potentially being utilized for the purposes of understanding what vehicles are entering access or egress to an area that may be pertinent to any particular investigation. This is a technique that I have used in the past in Cobb County investigations. And I felt that it was significant in this case after I noticed in playing back this footage and the footage from 581 Delphinium Boulevard, noticing some differences in the headlight pattern that was cast upon the ground by the headlamps. This is something that occurs particularly with older vehicles because over time we all know that we'll potentially have a headlamp go out. And when that's replaced, it may not be replaced with an exact matching headlight from the other side of the vehicle. It may be a different strength. There may be things that have occurred to the vehicle's body, frame, even slight bumping into a curb or into some fixed object may change or alter the position of a headlamp as it shines onto the ground. In this case, I had seen something that I felt like I wanted to see if it was recreated when we had the physical vehicle in the custody of the police. And I requested that they seek a warrant for the purposes of bringing that vehicle into a darkened area on our police campus at the time. And then I asked that a photographer have a ladder present where we might be able to simulate the height of these cameras that were mounted on the eaves of these homes, both on the home on Verbena, when I had found the vehicle, I believe to be the vehicle coming into the subdivision towards the scene of this crime, and then both on Delphinium Boulevard, the home that where the vehicle was leaving the area later. I was seeing something that I believed I might be able to identify.
And I know we haven't gotten to all of the surveillance clips yet, but in addition to seeing a particular vehicle, did you see some movement and changes in lighting in the same time period that were of interest to you?
Yes.
And is that part of why this particular vehicle stood out to you in all the surveillance clips?
Yes.
And is that what then led to taking these photographs of Mr. Lanz's vehicle with dark lighting on the police campus?
Yes.
All right, once again, I know you already looked at these photographs prior to taking the stand, but they were not numbered, so I'm going to pass it back to you. This is states 642 through 656. If you'll make sure you recognize those.
Yes, I recognize stats 642 through 656.
Are these fair and accurate photographs of Mr. Lanz's vehicle that you had taken for purposes of observing the headlights and taillights?
Yes.
State moves to tender states 642 through 656 into evidence.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor, we've had an opportunity to review those.
Thank you. State 642 through 656 are admitted.
May I publish, please? Yes. So looking first at 642, is this the Matthew Lanz vehicle?
It is.
All right, state 643 here. What specifically were you capturing in this photograph?
Just a view from behind the vehicle as its tail lights are illuminated, the tag light illumination, and the front casting of the headlights.
And then looking at state 644, is this a zoomed in photograph showing the tail lights?
It is.
Looking at state 645, did you have someone inside the vehicle for
Sorry, guys. Hold on a second.
Then looking at state 646, what are you showing kind of from the side view with the brake lights initiated?
Just a different angle.
Are we also seeing that in state 647 and 648?
Yes, it's really about the angles that may be presented in the surveillance footage, and making sure we have known images that were made by the police to compare those to.
Next, looking at 649, what area of the vehicle are we now documenting?
Attempting to document the cast on the ground, the headlight, what I refer to as the headlight signature.
Okay, and what was it? But what is it in particular that you? $650, is that another image of that V mark created on the pavement?
It is.
All right, state 651, did you take additional angles or photographs of the vehicle?
Yes, I believe this one is obviously a little more direct onto the side, but also at a slight elevation.
Can you still see that V mark?
Sorry
Yes.
about that, y'all.
State
I was trying to do something.
652, again, is this a different angle?
I'm gonna
It
mute
is
myself. Tell
slightly
me if you
more
can hear me, okay?
towards the rear of the vehicle, slightly behind, looking down.
Okay, and can you point out that V shape again?
Yes, absolutely. It's projected here on the ground.
All right, and if you'll just stay standing for a moment, so 653, another angle, yet are you still able to see that V shape on the pavement?
Yes, it's becoming more defined at this point.
States Exhibit 654, is this a higher angle?
It is.
Alright.
This is from an elevated position.
Okay, it doesn't work. Okay.
And are you still
I'm
able to
trying
see the
mute
V shape?
myself.
Yes, it's very distinct.
I'm
Okay,
trying to mute myself.
state 655,
System.
and finally 656. Do you continue to see that V shape despite changing the angle of, or the height and angle that the photo was taken?
Yes, this was an attempt to see if that was reproduced at various angles.
Now, in order to fully conduct this comparison, did you also take still shots of the suspect vehicle from the surveillance footage?
Yes.
Okay. And prior to testifying, did you look at a folder on the master drive labeled screenshots of suspect vehicle headlights from surveillance video?
Yes.
and were the images, I believe it was the 10 images contained therein, fair and accurate screenshots that you personally took of the suspect vehicle from the various camera angles?
Yes.
At this time, state moves to tender state's exhibit. $685 into evidence, and for the record, the 10 screenshots within are labeled A through I, so it states 685 A through I.
Any objection?
Let me just check to be sure what that is.
No.
Yes, so don't switch over to the screen quite yet, that way I can pull it up. There we go.
No objection, Judge. Those are some that I saw already. I just wanted to be sure that they were the same.
Thank you. State's Exhibit 685, labeled within 685A through I, is admitted.
All right, may I publish those images?
Yes.
And are these images kind of easier to see digitally as opposed to printed, Detective?
Well, I believe so, yes.
So first publishing State's Exhibit 685A. Which vehicle is this screenshot of?
This is the Lanz vehicle.
And so all the 10 images that are contained in this folder, is this all the Lanz vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And so here, which camera angle are we looking at?
This is the 5064 Verbena driveway camera covering this residence's driveway.
And the timestamp of this screenshot, if you will, please.
21, 20, and 29 seconds.
In this screenshot labeled A, are you able to see that V shape on the pavement?
Yes.
Can you please point that out for the court?
Certainly. It's just here on the pavement, just in front of the, primarily the left side headlight.
Okay, so the driver's side headlight.
Yes.
Now looking at State's 685B, is this the same Lanz vehicle?
It is.
All right, and so the timestamp is it actually the same exact timestamp as A?
Yeah, it's just a frame further.
And in this further frame here in State's 685B, can you point out that V shape on the page?
Certainly. It's occurring here.
Next, looking at, whoops, apologies. 685C, what have you done to take the screenshot in 685C?
Cropped out some of the side information for the purposes of potentially putting this into a presentation.
And are we gonna get to that as well?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And so you still see that same V shape?
Yes.
All right, if you'll point it out, please.
Certainly. Just on the left side headlamp on the ground, cast on the ground.
Looking at State's 685D, what is it that you are capturing from this screenshot that also has the timestamp of 21/20/29?
The same thing. These are a series of images that I was utilizing for the purposes of potential use in presentation, determining for my purposes which one I felt most comfortable.
Okay. Are we also seeing the same in State's 685E?
Yes, a little less prominent in that angle.
Now looking at 685F, what, and I know we haven't gotten this far in terms of the actual videos, but what surveillance system are we now looking at?
581 Delphinium Boulevard, the residence that their driveway sits off of, Dahlia Way. This is actually Delphinium Boulevard, and this is the front yard. of that residence. And my interest in this particular house was, number one, I noticed the camera and I knew it was a high-end system, just based on the camera. The placement of the camera and the position that this house was built in was one of the shortest distances for a front lawn to the roadway. And so this became a primary home of interest for my understanding. This was actually the first video that I acquired because I believed that the point of access egress to the crime scene was most likely on Delphinium Boulevard at the time. And so I chose and selected a large block of time from this residence to review and examine.
And in that large block of time, is this timestamp here where it has 10:11:29 seconds PM, is this the only time that you see the suspect vehicle captured on this surveillance system?
Yes, it is.
All right, and if you continue the direction that this vehicle is driving, what intersection do you end up at?
This is Delphinium headed out of the subdivision for the travel of this vehicle, the next intersection. Are the side streets within it would be Bells Ferry.
Okay, very good. And here, were you able to see that V shape casted onto the pavement?
Yes, this would have been some of the, I think I already testified, this was some of the earliest video that I acquired after the 50/50 Verbena video. This was where I first noticed this headlight, what I'm referring to as a headlight signature, where the signature cast by the headlights of the vehicle appeared to be distinctive enough to identify one vehicle from another.
Looking now at 465G, is this an additional frame of that same camera angle?
It is.
Do you still see the headlight signature?
We do, here just in front.
And I need to relabel this because this is actually a second G, so I will relabel that and put that on the record once it's relabeled. But is this actually just a cropped version of 685G?
Yes, in fact, that would probably indicate this is the image that I utilized for presentation purposes and another.
And then what's currently labeled, and again, I'll have to switch these by one letter, but 685H, is that the same Lanz vehicle?
It is the same vehicle, a little further down the road, looking at the back end of the vehicle.
Does that capture the tail light?
It does.
And finally, what's currently labeled as I, what are we looking at in this screenshot?
Vehicle has applied brakes, indicating, and this shows that the vehicle did have a third tail light, position of the third tail light, which in some cases can be different.
And zooming in there, does that further depict the third additional tail light with the brakes applied?
It does.
And is that part of why when you had photographs taken of Mr. Lanz's vehicle, you had the brakes applied?
It is, for the fact of anything that might be unique or different in the known images from the images captured in the video, the homeowner's video.
Very good. Now, again, prior to testifying, well, going back to the presentation that you created, in order to further look at these headlight signatures, did you also take screenshots of other vehicles that passed by the 5064 Verbena Drive address?
I did. Yeah.
And prior to testifying, did you look at the folder that was labeled screenshots of other vehicles from surveillance video?
I did.
And were there 4 images contained within that folder?
I don't recall the number, but.
Okay, but did you look at all the
Yes,
images?
I did.
Okay, and are all those images screenshots you personally took?
Yes.
All right, at this time, state moves to tender states 486 into evidence. I'm sorry, 686. I apologize. Numbers are not great.
That's the 686. Right, 686 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I publish this?
Yes.
And those 4 images are labeled A, B, C, and D. So looking first at 686A, Is this a different vehicle captured on 5064 Verbena?
Yes.
All right, does that have any sort of V-shaped headlight signature?
It does not.
Looking at state 686B, is this a different vehicle from Mr. Lanz's vehicle captured on 5064 Verbena?
It is.
Okay. Does this have a different headlight signature, meaning not the V-shaped headlight signature?
It does have a different signature than what I was looking for.
Whoops. Looking at 686C, how do we know this is not the Lanz vehicle?
We do not see the headlight signature.
And then finally, 686D, is this one of the SUVs we previously saw in states? $465D.
It is.
And did that have the headlight signature that you were looking for?
It did not.
All right, now going back, did you create a comparison between the known images of Mr. Lanz's vehicle and the screenshots of his vehicle captured on the various surveillance systems?
I did.
And what was the purpose of creating that comparison?
I prepared that for the investigators, the primary and secondary investigators in the case. Generally, there are times when some of my concepts and some of the things I think of to do for casework, maybe it's better that it's seen. My work is seen rather than try to explain it to them. And so there are times when I try to make it very clear.
For the visual learners.
For the visual learners.
All right, very good. I'm going to show you states 479. Do you recognize that two-page document in states 479?
I did.
All right, and how is it that you recognize it?
It's a document that I produced as a PDF file for the investigators and for their case file.
Very good. State moves to tender states 479 in the evidence.
Any objection?
That's the second page too.
No objection, can I have either of those previous?
States 479 is admitted.
May I publish?
Yes.
So looking at this first page here, have we previously seen these three screenshots?
We have.
Okay. If you will walk through from left to right each of these screenshots and where it was taken from.
Certainly. From left to right, the left image is a known image made under search warrant at the Cobb County Police Headquarters at the time, 140 North Merritt Parkway, in a dark portion back in a area where there are buildings on either side. It creates a kind of a dark pocket to capture what I believe was the headlight signature that I could identify in surveillance video. The next image was the arrival of a vehicle with, I believe, a matching headlight signature at on November 17th, 2021, approximately 21:20 hours. And this is captured, the middle image is captured from the 5064 Verbena Drive residential surveillance system. The final third image is from later on November the 17th, 2021 at 10:11 or 22:11 and 29 seconds from the residence at 581 Delphinium Boulevard.
And so looking at page 2 of states 479 here, what is it that you were able to determine in comparing these three screenshots?
A matching headlight signature for each of the residential videos that were acquired from the scene, and the known image, matching the known image made under search warrant by the Cobb County Police with the vehicle in custody, the known vehicle of the Lanz vehicle. And then thereby showing that
access into the area, or ingress into the area toward the crime scene and egress from the crime scene post-incident, and thereby narrowing a time frame for this incident.
So going back to States 465 now, I want to play States Exhibit E again. Now, in addition to observing the headlight signature that you just walked us through, what else was of interest to you once the camera view switched to 50/50 Verbena? Do you want me to ask another question?
I'm going to need you to repeat the question because I somehow I got lost.
That's okay. On this clip here, so we're going to start on E. The first camera from 5064 Verbena. Do you see the headlight signature?
Yes.
Okay. Once the camera, that you've combined, once it switches to the 5050 Verbena Drive address, do you see that headlight signature?
I apologize, I did not follow it. You do not.
Okay.
And that was one of the purposes of producing that clip, that work product.
Now, do you see any other lighting that was significant to you once you're at the 5050 Verbena Drive camera?
It's difficult to say, but they're in sequence, those vehicles traveling down the roadway. There appears at one part of the before the first SUV that would have been following the Lanz vehicle comes down the road, there appears to be light that goes off into the shrubbery. Behind and to the north side of the target property, which was the Lanz residence.
If the vehicle, the Lanz's vehicle that we see driving down Verbena at the earlier part of the street, what side of the road do you then see some of the reflective light?
On the right-hand side of the road.
And is that the same side of the road where the Lanz's residence is?
Yes.
Okay. Is it possible that you may have that same sort of reflective lighting if someone were to be pulling into the Lanz's driveway?
I believe it would be, yes.
Now, is the Lanz's driveway captured at all on the 5050 Verbena camera?
It is not.
All right, so we will now replay States Exhibit 465E.
Say 455.
460. I'm going to pause it here with the timestamp at the bottom of the screen being 21:20 and 49 seconds. We are now at the 5050 Verbena Drive camera location. If you will stand up, and when you see a little bit of that reflective lighting, indicate that for the court. And I know it's hard with lighting here. We'll go ahead and resume.
Just there. You can see back in this area, so several frames before that. When you, yeah, so there it is occurring.
Oh, whoops, I think I pressed play again. Hold on, let me go back. All right. So we're gonna resume it at 21:20 and 51 seconds from 5050 Verbena.
Just there.
And the timestamp there is 21:20 54 seconds.
It is.
Do you continue to see that at 21:20 and 55 seconds?
You do.
Does that continue up until 21:20 and 57 seconds?
Not quite.
Okay, just shy of that.
Yeah, well, actually, now you're seeing a similar pattern but we've reached a point, and having noted in the earlier video with the 3 vehicles passing, in this same clip that we were just watching, the 3 vehicles were passing 5064 per vehicle. The front vehicle is, I believe, the Lanz vehicle. The second 2 vehicles are SUVs. The first vehicle behind the Lanz vehicle is approximately 8 to 10 seconds traveling behind. And so when this clip starts, the first part of the clip is actually still occurring when this clip starts. So what I'm trying to indicate is that the vehicle's progression, as 8 seconds later from the time we see those lights, approximately, we should see an SUV passing by, if in fact, potentially the Lanz vehicle turned in or pulled off at the driveway of 600 Delphine.
Very good, and we'll continue on from that point and play the remainder. All right, I now want to look at state 465G. All right, the timestamp, at least for the very beginning here, what is the timestamp where this video clip starts? So this is 465G.
21:30 and 1 second.
And we're going to jump ahead a little bit to about 21:31 and 30 seconds. But what is it that you were capturing or focusing on during this clip?
I believe this is a clip that when I first noticed movement, and I believe a person traveling onto the property, the Hicks property.
And do you see any sort of lights or reflections that were important to you later on when we get to some other video clips?
Do I see them now?
No, not now.
Oh, I apologize.
That's okay. Do you see some changes in lighting coming from the Hicks residence during this clip?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go ahead and play it, and we will end up circling back once we get to later video footage. I'm going to, for clip G, we are going to skip to 21:31 and 29 seconds. And if you will, indicate to the court when you see some of the activity on the screen that was significant to you.
There.
I'm going to stop it at 21:31 and 36 seconds. All right, and what is it that changed on this screen?
Well, the backyard. There's lighting that has come on in the backyard.
And we've had images as well as some testimony about floodlights at the censored floodlights at the Hicks residence. Is that what's being illuminated here in 21:31 and 36 seconds?
I certainly believe it is, yes.
Now, do you see any associated movement in the same area?
Yes.
If you will, as you see that movement, please indicate that for the court as it's difficult to see.
Here in this area. this area.
Stopping it at 21:32 in 9 seconds. Can you point out for the court what's noticed in this frame?
In this frame, this is later determined, I determined this to be a Nest camera that was probably utilized by the family simply for live viewing and was not recording at the time. However, I believe this is a signature of the infrared illuminator for that camera, for covering a porch area that's a side entrance off the garage to the residence.
And as we get kind of further into these clips, do you do a similar comparison looking at that infrared reader and later clips that we'll be viewing?
Yes, I do.
So we'll circle back to that in a little bit and continuing this video. And again, if you'll just point out any movement that you are able to see. Now here, I'm going to pause it at 21:32 and 28 seconds. Do you see any additional lights come on?
Yes.
All right, and what light or what area of the Hicks residence do you see the additional light?
I believe that is actually the front doorway or front porch area and lighting from that location.
Now, are you also aware of any censored floodlights in the front of the house?
I don't recall.
Certainly, did you see any movement come across the garage or anything like that?
I did not. I was aware in reviewing the video that these seem to have been triggered at times by maybe vehicles or activity out on the roadway or what would be the front yard of that residence. So I suspected they were censored. Yes.
Okay. But nonetheless, did you see any movement go in front of the garages towards the front door?
No, I do not. These are the garage doors, and I did not depict any movement across there during this time frame.
For these particular lights that you see illuminated, is it possible to either be motion censored from something on, what is this, do you recall the street name there? Madarna maybe, or?
Yeah, I don't, the pronunciation, I'd have to not visualizing it to pronounce it. But yeah, I knew it started with an M.
I'm passing you states 475.
Yes. Menarda.
Menarda, okay.
Menarda Way, yes.
So could that have been some sort of activity on Menarda Way that triggered the lights?
It could have been.
Okay, likewise, could it have been actually someone inside the Hicks residence turning on their front porch lights?
It's entirely possible.
Was there anything based on the timing of these lights being illuminated in the front of the house that would have told you one way or the other if it's a human turning on like a light switch versus it being activated by sensors?
Not for me. Reviewing the video.
We will continue on.
Here. So the
Pausing it at 21:32:45.
a prior question was at any point when I see
Absolutely.
movement for me to identify it or stop you. You actually begin to depict some movement back here, and this is actually a person coming out of the. If you'll think back to the daylight images, the shrubbery that was here on the Hicks property. Basically coming around the shrubbery from the side of the house and now entering onto the grass area between the landscape, shrubbery, and the road.
Okay, and then we'll continue on.
And then now onto the roadway and away from the residence. Because of what I mentioned earlier, this area here, which is, we're getting some ambient light. You can tell that there's ambient light from the room that's creating this reflection back into the camera lens. The recording is picking this up. And so it becomes more and more difficult to depict that movement moving up and out of the area or vice versa coming into the area.
And we'll continue on just for a few seconds here.
Still movement.
And we kind of lose movement at
Yeah, I
this point.
believe that's the extent of what I could see is back to this area.
And so we've stopped it at 21:33 and 13 seconds. I do want to go back momentarily to 21, 31, and 34 seconds, this time using the zoom function. So we'll resume this video. And again, that was at 21,
Yes.
31.
That's when the,
seconds. Was that?
when the movement occurs in the backyard. Initially here, it's depicted. As this clip plays, we'll actually see some object passes between the source of light, the floodlights, close enough to create shadowing briefly, very briefly, in this area and across the spectrum of this light. But at this point, there is someone in the backyard moving, and then they'll move closer to the light source, creating some shadowing, and then they will move out of the light source in this area and toward the side of the house, the garage side of the house where there's a porch or a doorway.
Okay, so we'll continue on.
There, the shadowing had just occurred, moving closer to the light source, causing a shadow. And now moving towards the side of the home. The sensor for the backyard will kick off. The sensor for the side door infrared illuminator will kick on. Front lights have initiated, and now we begin to see some movement here on the shrub line, and now we'll see someone, a person, moving out toward across the grass to the roadway and moving up from the home towards 600 Delphine.
We will now pause that. The timestamp on the video shows to be 21, 32, and 58 seconds. Next, looking at states 460. Oh, take a break?
Yeah, we can take it, we're about an hour and 40, we'll give,
Yes, ma'am.
thanks to everyone.
Great time.
Why don't we come back at 10:50?
Okay, thank you.
50, y'all.
Stand in recess.
Take 11 minutes. 10:50 to come back. I know people are asking questions about this case. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find something about it so I can give people 10 minutes like overview of this case. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Okay, why is everything showing unavailable? What the heck is going on? This contact isn't available. Try later. Why is my something's going on with YouTube. Because it's not letting me look at videos. It's not letting me open up my videos. Are you guys having trouble with YouTube? It's not letting me look at it. It says this content isn't available. Let me go see. Let me see. Let me switch accounts and see if it's available on my other account. Maybe because I'm live, it's not letting me do it on. Let me close this out. Okay, there it is. It's because I'm live and it's not letting me use my what's the name, so I have to go onto the other account and go live. No, it's because I'm live on my current channel, and they're not letting me do it from the other one because it's working on my other subscription. See?
Accused of a double murder and stabbing a police officer in 2 different cities. 22-year-old Matthew Lanz appeared in Fulton County Court this morning, the judge giving him a more than $500,000 bond.
I'm going to give you a $25,000 bond on carrying out a knife during the commission of a felony. I'm going to give you $15,000 on the carrying a concealed weapon. I'm going to give you $50,000 on each burglary in the first degree.
Yes, ma'am. Now that bond you just heard, it's for 35 crimes Lanz is accused of in Sandy Springs. But before any of that happened, police say Lanz killed a Cherokee County firefighter and his wife in their home. The bodies of Justin and Amber Hicks were found Thursday morning. Their 2-year-old son found inside the house unharmed. Lanz is charged with 2 counts of felony murder, 2 counts of aggravated assault, and other crimes. Now, there's another connection in this story. Matthew Lanz is the brother of a man named Austin Lanz. Now, the two lived in a house next door to the home of Justin and Amber. In April of this year, Austin was charged with trespass and burglary for entering Justin and Amber's home. But at the time, there was another couple living in the home. A neighbor told me last week after Justin and Amber's murders, there's been a history of harassment from Austin to the previous homeowners.
It was a thing with the neighbor behind the house was terrorizing them. So it's just a lot going around this house, and I feel so terrible that it got to this extent for this couple who just moved here and they were so excited to be homeowners and start their lives together, little kid.
Now, the previous couple that lived there told the Washington Post Austin left notes and inappropriate photographs in their mailbox. Justin and Amber moved into the house a few months later. Austin was later killed by police in Washington, D.C. in August. Police say Austin stabbed and killed a Pentagon officer. Now his brother Matthew is accused of murdering the couple, and he's accused of breaking into homes and stabbing a Sandy Springs police officer 2 days after the murders. Police believe Matthew broke into several homes and attacked an officer when they responded to 911 calls. He was shot and taken to the hospital. Right now he's in Fulton County Jail, where he faces charges there and the murder charges in Cobb County. Justin and Amber will be buried on Tuesday.
Wow. Both him and his brother. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. They got a Christmas movie starting now. Y'all, it's that time of year, y'all. It's the holidays, y'all. Did y'all know that? It's the holidays. All right, let's see. They didn't come back yet. We got about 5 minutes. These are their charges. Hold on a second. I'm going to show y'all. This is his charges. Look. He is charged with 13 counts. He got 1 count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 counts of murder. He got 1 count of home invasion. He got 2 counts of aggravated assault. He has 2 counts of, what do you call it? Possession of a firearm while commission of a felony. 2 counts of those. 1 count of cruelty to children and 1 count of tampering with evidence. Yeah. Jimmy Berry is his attorney. The indictment doesn't show here. This is 2022 arraignment. You got order denying bond, I guess, right? And then they have the coverage, all of the news people that's covering it. Okay. Let's get out of that. Let's get ready for you said, well, he'll never see the light of day. It's a wrap. Kim said he'll never see a daylight. Like no light of day. Oh my God, my arm hurting. Yeah, he got big charges. It's a bench trial that CMT said it's a bench trial. Get a bond. Hopefully he won't get. No, they're not giving him a bond. They denied his bond. He got 2 counties. 2 counties. He got Fulton County and he got Cobb County. So he's not going anywhere, like you said. Fulton gave him a high bond, but the thing is, why did he get a bond? Fulton gave him a bond. This man committed murder, and Fulton gave him a bond. But let me shut up. Let me shut up. Fulton gave him a bond, y'all. unalived 2 people, but they gave him bond. He's 26 years old, born in 1999. They gave him a bond. Interesting. Very interesting. I wonder why. Exactly. Exactly, Kim. Exactly. Oh, you back.
Thank you.
Back.
You all can see it.
Yes,
We are back on the record, the state of Georgia versus Matthew Lanz, 229000922. All parties are present. You may proceed, Amy Green.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, so detective, to continue on, we're still on dates 465, some of those video clips. We're going to speed along watching some of these, but just so that the court is clear, in observing movement, were you in any way trying to make an identification of who is seen on this video?
No, I did not and do not believe it's possible to make an identification.
Nonetheless, when looking at it in totality, particularly with the vehicles, was it helpful in developing your timeline?
Yes, it was.
Right, very good. So we will continue on looking next at states 465H. And I will jump ahead to 21:37 and 28 seconds. We'll just play a few seconds here. Pausing now at 21:37 and 31 seconds. Did the front lights go out at that point?
Yes, they did.
And again, is there any way to know whether that was initiated by a human versus light sensors?
No.
Right, very good. Moving on to states 465I. And the timestamp we'll start it is 21:43 and 49 seconds. While it's difficult to see, can you see some movement on the street?
Yes.
Okay, and can you back it up just a few seconds there to 21:44 and 01, if you'll point out the duration in which you see someone walking on the street being Verbena.
The movement is here in this area, and it's a person that travels down the most extent of that travel is just about here, and then reverses course. It's now seen moving back up the roadway in the northern, basically a northern direction.
Okay,
And here's the extent of the movement pretty much out here.
Whoops. We'll stop that video at 21:44 and 38 seconds. I'm sorry, 38 seconds. All right, next we will look at states 465. Okay, I'm sorry, L. We're going to start that at 21:52 in 0 seconds. And if you will point out when you start to see some of that movement on the screen. There.
I apologize, but I need to be able to see this screen.
That's okay.
In order to depict what I'm seeing, because on this screen it's even more difficult.
Okay.
So the smaller the image, and the ability to overcome the challenges with the setup of this camera are difficult. But the movement is here, and it will continue around this corner, and it is the most difficult of all these images to see movement. But it is a person moving around this corner of the shrubbery, but because I believe we're so close to the shrubbery that the camera is having difficulty determining between what is movement and what is just the shrubbery. Because in a nighttime, if this were daylight, we would see it easily. But with these low light conditions and the distance, it's basically just like ghosting. But you will see movement that comes around this corner very tight onto the shrubbery.
There you go. We'll continue on. Now at the bottom of the screen here, we start seeing a person that's more visible. Where is that person coming from?
So that is the homeowner for 50/50 Verbi. And he is, has exited his residence to walk his dog. He'll be briefly in this area, he'll pass his wife who comes out with a second dog.
Okay.
For the same purpose.
Okay,
And then they enter their home.
Very good, thank you. As this is continuing to play, will we ever see any lighting coming from the Hicks's residence on this clip?
Do not recall if this clip goes far enough into 21:55 for the back lights, but it is around that time that
backlights are illuminated. I just don't recall if it's on this clip or not.
I know we've gone a few seconds kind of past it at this point, but what is the hour and minute that we now see the backyard floodlights illuminated?
21:55 and 43 seconds is where we're stopped. Just a couple of seconds prior to that is when the backyard lights illuminated.
Alright, and we'll play this till the end. And then, what is the timestamp in which those backyard floodlights turn off?
21:55 and 52 or 3 seconds.
And then we'll just go ahead and play out the rest of the video. All right, next, looking at 465N, slightly out of order, but in chronological order. So we'll play 465N. What is the timestamp at the start of this video clip from 50/50 Bermuda?
22:10 and 1 second.
Okay, well, and do you see any lighting in this video?
We do currently, and we will. The floodlight for the driveway and the walkway to the front door area is illuminated. And we will see the backyard floodlights come on again and see movement back there.
Okay, we'll go ahead and play the entire clip.
Did you, again, I didn't know if from earlier you had wanted me to.
Yes, please. So we'll go back just a few seconds here at 22:10 and 07 seconds.
Okay.
So what is the timestamp when they first turn on?
22:10:08.
Okay, and then if you will, use the pointer to show the movement that is seen, the movement and shadows that can be depicted from this area.
So in this area, we see movement away from the residence, and I believe it depicts a person moving away from the residence at this point, 22:10 and 18 seconds.
That is the entirety of the clip. Now, detective, between 21:55 hours and 22:10 hours, when we see those black back floodlights turned on, is there any other point in time within that 15 minutes that they come on?
The back floodlights do not.
Okay, so just because we skipped that chunk of time, was there anything significant in terms of backyard activity between 21:55 and 22:10?
Not in my review.
next we will play 465M. And just to remind the court, this clip labeled M, what residence are we looking at?
This is 581 Delphinium Boulevard. This is the driveway to the residence, which is actually their address, their physical home address is Delphinium, but their Dahlia Way is where their driveway.
And on the very upper left quadrant, what is the major roadway? Not major, but the other roadway that's depicted in addition to
This
Dahlia.
is Delphinium
Okay, very good.
Boulevard, and this is Dahlia Way.
Okay, very good. So we'll play the entirety of clip M. During those two different angles from the 581 Delphinium, are you able to see Lanz's vehicle?
Yes.
Okay, and are you able to see the headlight stamp, certainly from the view looking straight onto Delphinium?
The headlight signature is visible, and that's why I believe it is the Lanz vehicle.
And just to start the clip again briefly, what is the hour and minute? We don't need the seconds, but at least the hour and minute that we see the Mr. Lanz's vehicle passing on Delphinium.
2211.
Okay, which is 10:11 p.m.
It is 10:11 on this system. PM.
Now I want to go to States 565. Oh, what are we about to watch in States 565?
Interestingly, just a short time after we had seen the movement in the backyard of this residence, there's a vehicle that arrives on the street. This is that SUV arriving, and we later were able to determine that this was a package delivery. The delivery driver exits the driver's side, goes around the passenger side, and makes a delivery to the porch area where we see the illumination of the infrared illuminator for the Nest lighting, which gave me the reference for a known occurrence of a delivery. And that was where that package was left, so we know that that would trigger that infrared illuminator.
Okay, very good. And if you will, please, as we see this delivery person exit the vehicle and walk around to the side porch area as you described, if you can assist by using your pointer.
Certainly. Pointers likely not even needed because the driver, you'll see, is illuminating at their feet with their flashlight, or probably on their phone, walking around past the garage doors up to a walkway leading to a porch area where there is a dual entrance, a side entrance to the home.
Okay, and I'm going to pause it at 22:17:16. What else do you see in this clip here?
We get an indication here of a known triggering of the infrared lighting. The Nest camera that was not live, was not recording, but was in fact live.
And we will look at some screenshots of this in a moment, but let's play this through till the end. taking stand, did you also look at a folder labeled Nest IR with a state's exhibit number of 481?
Yes, I did.
All right, and does that contain 3 separate images that you created based off this surveillance footage at 50/50 Delphine, or I'm sorry, 50/50 Bermuda?
Yes, it does.
Okay, are those fair and accurate screenshot, 2 screenshots as well as an overlay of those 2 images for purposes of looking at the infrared camera?
Yes.
State moves to tender state's exhibit 481 in evidence.
Any objection? States 481 is admitted.
So I first want to start with may I publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. 481C, since we just looked at that here, is this a screenshot from the video we just watched, which was states 465?
It is.
All right. And is the infrared camera illuminated?
Well, the illuminator, the infrared illuminator has been triggered. At this point, you can actually see the position of the driver, the delivery person, by the use of their flashlight or their phone screen.
Okay, so if you can, just so that it's clear, can you show which one the infrared illuminator is compared
Yes.
to the cell phone?
The infrared illuminator is here, the higher positioned light source.
All right, and then the lower one here where my mouse is that the cell phone?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now looking at states 481A, what is the timestamp of this screenshot?
21:32 and 24 seconds, or 9:32:24 p.m.
Is this a screenshot from one of the clips we previously watched in states 465?
It is from November 17th, 2021.
And if you can point out that infrared indicator.
Certainly. This is an indication that the Nest camera's infrared illuminator has been triggered at this point.
So now looking at states 481B, what have you done with this image to further show visually what you determined?
So this is just to give a base image, which is the still from earlier, 21:32, I believe it was in 24 seconds, is the base image here, and then overlaying over that image digitally, such that we can then see the known image of the delivery person making the delivery, and see that the infrared illuminator is in the exact same position. There's no issue, but you can tell that the delivery vehicle is actually kind of almost ghosted into the image because they are overlaying, showing 2 different moments in time, but that the illuminator is in fact operating both times, and we know where that delivery person dropped the package, so we know that's what triggers. That's how close you need to be to trigger that infrared illuminator.
And so based on that, were you able to determine whether a person was in the area of that Nest camera that's on the side porch door at 21:32 hours?
I believe that this image and the overlay does accomplish that by showing that in fact it was someone in that area, even though it's very difficult to see in the images that we saw, or the video that we watched. It's difficult to see someone rounding the corner, but when we see that illuminator, we know in fact someone was there.
So Detective, based on all of this and all of these videos combined in your analysis, what is your best estimate as to when these murders occurred?
I would say they occurred between the hour of the time of 21:55 minutes, 9:55 p.m. to the point at which we see someone moving away from the residence. In the flat back, floodlights are illuminated at 10:10 and some seconds.
Between 9:55 and 10:10 p.m.
I believe so, yes.
And when was it that you first saw the Lanz's vehicle on Verbena Drive?
At 21:20 hours.
Is that 9:20 p.m.?
It is 9:20 p.m.
And then when is it best you can tell from this footage and some of that overlay that you see a human on the Hicks's property?
When I first see that?
Yes.
At 21:31 or 9:31 during that minute time span.
And so from 9:31 p.m. when you first see a human on a Hicks's property, how many minutes is it until that 9:55 time frame or marker?
24 minutes or so.
And then what is the time difference between when you see the floodlights triggered between 9:55 p.m. and then when you see them triggered for the last time at 10:10 p.m.?
I think if you look at the seconds, it's a little less than 15 minutes.
And just so the court is clear here, after that 10:10 p.m. time, did you ever see those rear floodlights triggered before sunlight?
No.
Just a moment here. So that final time that you ever saw the rear floodlights triggered at 10:10 p.m., what time did you then see the Lanz's vehicle fleeing or leaving the area?
That vehicle was captured on that video, 581 Delphinium Boulevard at 10:11 and some seconds.
Is it possible to get from the Hicks's and Lanz's residence by vehicle from 10:10 p.m. to 10:11 p.m.?
Absolutely.
I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Attorney Barry, you may proceed with your cross.
Good morning, Detective Smith.
Good morning.
Did you have an occasion to go to the crime scene on the 18th?
To the residence?
To the residence, right.
I don't believe I physically went on the property on the 18th. I don't recall.
When was the first time that you did go to the residence?
Unfortunately, I don't recall.
Okay. Would it have been in 2021 or would it have been later?
If in fact I did to the actual scene residence,
Yeah.
It would have been the 18th or the 19th.
Okay. The photographs that we were looking at, particularly, I'll just show you, this is for State Exhibit 480, and sure that I think. State's Exhibit 480. This is the screenshot that you did from across the street, showing that there's a screen on the window that you're explaining to us.
Yes.
There was an issue there with being able to see as well because of the screen.
Certainly complicated the view, yes.
Did you ever go to the crime scene and look at exactly where these lights were associated with where we see on the video?
Yes, on the exterior to some degree. I wasn't even made aware of the case until the 18th. And it would have been either the 18th or 19th.
Okay. And the lights that we see come on in the back, are they associated with where the package was that you saw, or were they in a different place?
They were in a different place.
Okay, even though we saw those same lights come on when the package was delivered. Right.
The back the back floodlights.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what area do those back floodlights cover? Do you know when they would come on? How close would you have to be to those floodlights for them to come on?
I did not trigger them during hours of darkness, but they were in a patio area, and there was a wall to the. If you're facing that patio area where these lights were positioned, there was as I recall, a patio area with part of a wall to the residents here, and part of a wall to the right.
Okay. And do you know how long those lights would stay on once they're triggered?
I had counted various cycles of that, and it seemed to be really brief in some instances, as little as 10 seconds.
Okay. And I know sometimes in floodlights that I have, sometimes a dog will trigger them. Anything that might come in their path that there's movement. Is fair to say?
There's potential, yes, for that.
So let's talk a little bit about the vehicle. I know that that you've got new equipment that you've gotten fairly recently to do these testing. Did you do the testing with this new equipment or with the old equipment that you purchased when you came back?
I'm not sure what you're referring to, because you kind of mentioned the vehicle and now you're referring to new equipment.
Well, we're testing the headlights. You can see the V in the headlights.
Yeah.
You indicated that you had equipment that you purchased when you came back from being retired in Talbot County and purchasing that surveillance equipment.
No.
Is that something different?
You have, yeah, there's no new equipment for that purpose, and the equipment that I referred to was actually in 2002. 2001, they accepted a proposal. 2002, they bought it. It was long before I went to the technology-based crime unit.
Okay, so the Axon that you were talking about, that's not new equipment?
It is the new company that purchased the smaller company, Input Ace.
Okay. So you didn't use this newer equipment, you used the equipment back in
none of this is equipment, I mean, it's software.
None of this,
It's software.
Okay.
But this is something that I would say we can see with the naked eye.
Okay.
There's nothing that's doing anything to enhance that image. I picked up on what I believe was a signature visual. Just simply watching the video play from both Verbena Drive and Delphinium Boulevard, those two residential surveillance systems. I believe I was seeing a headlight signature And my interest was to, once we had the known vehicle of a person of interest to the case in our custody, I wanted those known images of what the headlights were casting. That there's no equipment other than cameras and ladders involved in that, and the surveillance systems that recorded.
Well, that's pretty much just visual. You don't use any particular surveillance equipment or anything to enhance what you may see with the naked eye.
I do not recall, other than cropping the images for the PDF that I produced, other than cropping them just so visually they'd be about the same size in each example. No, I don't believe I did any enhancement. I prefer to call it clarification processes of adjusting brightness or contrast or luminance values.
When you are looking at a when you are looking at a headlight signature, just, we'll just say a 2018 Toyota. Does each 2018 Toyota have the same signature headlight?
I would say there's a potential for each one to have slightly different headlight signatures. And then all the different variables that come into play. Did a headlight burn out? Was it replaced with a lesser lumens output bulb? Was it replaced with a non-manufacturer produced bulb? Was there a front-end collision that may have changed the aim of a headlight? All those, and there are, as you and I can both imagine, millions of possibilities of what changes. Because it's not like it used to be when you and I would take a screwdriver and make an adjustment to our headlights by literally running the screw in and out that would change the pin. These are basically fixed, and what changes them are the bulbs, the lamps used, and any damage or other factors that will change the directionality and the output of that headlight.
And the only way that you would really know that would be to look at the bulb to see whether it may be the same bulb that was in the vehicle originally. If it was, then most of them would be the same V shape, wouldn't it?
Personally, I could care less about what bulb it is in there. I could care less about the lens. It's about the signature. It's about the signature cast upon the ground, on a roadway, on asphalt, either as the vehicle's traveling, as it's parked, and then recreating to the best of your ability the angles to capture a similar scene and see visually, does it compare? Is it comparable? And in this case, it was.
Yeah, I misunderstood. I thought you said it sometimes depended on the type of bulb that you had, whether you had a front end collision, and all of these things kind of would go in being able to determine whether that V was the same, that maybe is the same signature on all 2018 Toyotas, correct?
In this case, I'm not concerned about all 2018 Toyotas. I'm literally concerned with one vehicle. And does that signature of that, no matter whose headlamps are in it, no matter what lens is on it, I'm not even concerned, did it ever get in a front-end collision? Was there ever damage to it? I just know several nights earlier, it was casting a particular signature upon the ground. Is it still casting? Is that vehicle, a known vehicle, casting that signature says that I can then confidently say that it was the vehicle that traveled through that area at a time significant to the investigation.
So it wouldn't make any difference to you how many 2018 Toyotas there would be that had the V signature? You're just looking at that particular vehicle.
I literally am looking at that particular vehicle in this kind of scenario when we have a known entity, a known vehicle to compare to.
Tried to write down all of these time frames from the stamp. It appears as though that there are lights coming on the front porch at some point. I think at 21:31, you see a light on the back of the Hicks home. You recall?
Yes.
And then at 21:32, the light goes out.
I believe that would be generally accurate, yes.
And then at 21:32, the lights on the front porch come on. Correct.
If recollection serves, yes.
And you indicated that you can see movement during that time period. I think we saw some sort of person moving across the screen there from maybe the back area towards the front, past the truck.
Past the infrared, the Nest camera, and then eventually down the driveway toward the roadway.
And then at 21:37, you got lights on the front porch again, all right? Somewhere in that.
Yeah, I mean, I believe you may be referring to the similar time frame, a continuation of that time frame.
Well, the lights on the front porch aren't going to stay on other than a few seconds for what you said.
On the front porch?
Mm-hmm. Or do you know?
That's the back porch. The front porch, they stay on much longer, from what I reviewed.
How long do they stay on the front porch?
I didn't do a calculation per se, not like I did for the back, because the back seemed to be triggered and go out pretty quickly. So I did not do the same for the front, and there was no point of entry into the home that we were aware of related to this case on the front. So I did not do a calculation for the back. I'm sorry, for the front.
Okay, so you're saying that the lights are on from 21:32 to 21:37?
No, I'm not saying that necessarily. I don't recall, and it wasn't the focus of my interest.
And at 21:44:01, you see somebody walking up the street. Is that up the sidewalk in front of the bushes there?
I believe so. I'm unaware of the sidewalk, but there's shrubbery. The driveway meets the roadway. There's a short or narrow, I guess narrow is a better term, strip of grass that one crosses to pass onto the roadway.
Okay. It appeared as though, from what I could tell, that person was walking away from the home, the Hicks home. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. And then at 21:55, you got the floodlights that go on in the backyard again.
Yes.
And at 22:10, you've got the floodlights at the front door, front porch.
I don't recall. I do know the back are illuminated at 22:10.
Okay, so So you don't remember whether the floodlights were on at 2210?
In the back, they absolutely were. They pop on, and a person is seen moving from the residence toward the roadway.
Well, at 2210:08, you got the back floodlights come on, but you don't recall the front coming on before.
I don't recall that, whether they did or not. My interest was in the back of the home.
Your knowledge, do you know who interviewed the driver for the package delivery?
I do not.
So your best estimate then of the time of the murders was somewhere between 9:55 and 10:10. Is that right?
Yes.
I think that you indicated that you were able to see a person, but you were not able to determine what that person might be wearing or what they look like.
Yeah, that's correct. No identifiable, other than what appeared to be a human figure moving. Nothing identified.
And you indicated at one point that there had been some light that you saw was a reflection that may have been up towards the Lanz home. Could that be anything? Could it be back porch light or anything that came on?
I believe what you're, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe what you're referring to is early in my testimony, I was talking about the Lanz vehicle arriving during the 21-20 hour frame, traveling past 5064 Verbena Drive, and then followed by two SUVs. And then the continuation, the compilation, where the video then picks up from 5050 Verbena, and I indicated that it's, you see light cast into a deeper area, right? And then about 8 seconds later, you begin to see the lighting for the vehicle, the first SUV that would have been behind the Lanz vehicle. And could that have been the Lanz vehicle pulling into 600 Delphinium Boulevard? Yes. Could it have been someone at the intersection that turned and did a U-turn in the four-way stop because they sit right on the corner? Yes. I'm not excluding all other possibilities.
So you're not saying, you don't know whether the Lanz vehicle or what you believe to be the Lanz vehicle pulled into their drive?
I believe it to be the Lanz vehicle. I believe the timing is accurate for it to have been the Lanz vehicle's lights shining into the trees and landscape prior to that first SUV that would have been behind the Lanz vehicle only seconds earlier, captured on the earlier camera footage. So I believe it to be the Lanz vehicle.
All right. Thank you.
Well,
nothing further, Jeff.
Thank you. AD Green, you need follow up or redirect?
Nothing further, thank you.
All right. May this witness be excused?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Can I have the attorney's approach for me?
I got it muted.
All right, State, you may call your next witness.
This kind of state called Detective Ben Jackson.
Please remain standing and be sworn in. You'll raise your right hand, please.
You do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give the court on the issue now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Thank you. Please have a seat, and once seated, if you please state and spell your true and correct legal name for the record.
Sergeant Ben Jackson, BNJACKSON.
Thank you. You may proceed. Ada Horowitz.
Good morning.
Good morning.
If you'll please tell the court how you're employed.
I am currently assigned to Crimes Against Persons Unit as the sergeant for the unit.
And how long have you been with the Crimes Against Persons Unit?
I was a detective in the Crimes Against Persons Unit for approximately 2 years before being promoted to sergeant, and then I've been reassigned to that unit as a sergeant since January of 2022.
And just a clarification, which law enforcement agency?
Cobb County Police Department.
And prior to Crimes Against Persons, did you have previous law enforcement experience?
Yes, I was originally post certified in 2006. I worked for the Georgia Tech Police Department for 1 year, then left law enforcement, was in full-time ministry for about 5.5 years before coming to the Cobb County Police Department in December of 2012.
So since 2012, you've been post certified?
Yes.
All right. Now, were you employed by the Cobb County Police Department in November of 2021?
Yes, sir. At that time, I was a detective in the Crimes Against Persons Unit.
So I want to jump to November 18th, 2021. In what capacity did you work this case?
I was assigned as the second to assist Detective Standard in the homicide investigation.
Now, jumping in, at some point, did you interview Teresa and Scott Lanz?
Yes, sir. We interviewed them at the office on, I believe it was November the 19th.
Now, who is Teresa and Scott Lanz?
They're the father and mother of the suspect, Matthew Lanz.
Now, in the sequence of events, when did you interview them?
It was later in the evening on the 19th, so it was after we'd identified him as the suspect, before we executed the search warrant in Athens, Georgia.
Now, how did the Lanz, Teresa and Scott Lanz, get to the headquarters? If you remember.
I don't recall.
But at some point they were at headquarters?
Yes, sir.
All right. And who interviewed them?
Detective Standard and I interviewed them at the office.
Now, at this time, the state's going to move to Integral Smart States Exhibit 466 as it's a part of stipulation number 8, and I can read that into the record.
Yes, please.
In full, stipulation number 8, statements of Scott and Teresa Lanz captured on Officer R. Jones' body camera contained in State's Exhibit 460, and from their formal interview with Detective Zachary Stanner and Ben Jackson contained in State's Exhibit 466 are admissible. Defendant Matthew Lanz is waiving his right to confrontation regarding the statements made by Scott and Teresa Lanz, his parents. So at this time, I think it's a good time to take a break, Judge.
Let me just get on the record. Attorney Berry, any objection?
No, Judge.
Okay. As stipulated in stipulation number 8, State's Exhibit 466 is admitted, and we will take our lunch break at this time. So everyone will be back at 1:30 p.m. Courtroom will open about 1:15. Just want to remind everybody that chewing gum is prohibited in the courtroom as well. So just want to remind everybody that should be no chewing gum in the courtroom during the course of the proceedings.
No chewing gum.
Lunch, and I'll see you all back at 1:30.
Don't they know the rules of the courthouse? No chewing gum, people. Because y'all be leaving the gum on the seats and stuff. All right, guys, I have to take my butt on down the road. I know where I'm going, and we're going to be live on the other thing, okay? I'll see you guys in a few. Bye.
Thank you for watching the infamous Sylvia channel, where laughter and fun make up our panel. Together we build this digital spree. We appreciate you and our growing family. With mods by our side and chat flowing free in this online space. It's just you and me, we laugh until tears roll down like the rain. In this virtual world, you ease all my pains. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. We cherish the moments, the highs and lows, from the latest gossip to stories untold. You're more than a viewer, you're part of the crew in this space of ours. It's all because of you. This digital world where emotion is shared, every post and reaction showing we care. The love is real in this virtual domain. With every sign, enjoys what we'll gain. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. This digital world where emotion is shared, every post and reaction showing we care. The love is real in this virtual domain. With every sign, enjoys what we'll gain. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night.